Hello and welcome to another Dreadlocks questions and answers video. Dreadlocks Q&A 25. You have just witnessed the first ever showing, the world premiere of a little intro clip there. The music for that has been made by my Dreadlocked friend from Norway, Kristin Budal, and you can find a link to her page and her stuff in the description to this video. So you know the drill. Each week I'm going to answer 4 questions from you guys from previous Q&A videos and 1 from the Facebook page this week. First question is from Skier RJC. Question: I would like to get dreadlocks but spend a lot of time in a helmet as I play lots of sports. Would the helmet hurt the dreadlocks, specifically the young dreads? Helmets, hats. On LazyDreads.com there's a section on how dreadlocks affect activities, and that talks about helmets specifically, but it's kind of a different problem, and that's more in that with long dreads like mine, I wouldn't actually be able to fit a conventional helmet on my head. I mean, your specific question, your specific worry with young dreadlocks in a helmet, I don't think a helmet's really going to be that helpful for young dreads. It might slow them down a bit, but there has to be a bit of give and take. You can't build your life around your hair, even if it is dreadlocks. So while it might slow them down, I don't think it's going to slow them down enough for you to think, oh, I can't possibly have dreadlocks. So yeah, it's probably not the greatest idea to wearing a helmet, but you know, that's an important part of your life, and dreadlocks kind of have to just deal with it. Next question from XJG91X. Question: do you have any split ends? Like, if you look closely at your dreads, can you see the little white tips on each strand of hair? I don't know whether those are split ends or whether they're bits of root from old hairs that have moved down here. I thought they were, you know, when a hair gets pulled out but it doesn't actually fall out because it's stuck in your dread, you can see the little white ball. I used to have them and now I don't really see them so much. I get asked the question a lot because people want to know how to get rid of them, but I can't actually find any today. So while I know that I have definitely had them in the past and I can see a few, I think eventually they start to break off, because I can see that your question probably segues into, if you have them, how do you get rid of them? Or if you don't have them, how to get rid of them? I don't think there's a real way to get rid of them other than if you see them on the edge, get scissors and trim it off, but that's probably not the greatest idea to do anyway. Yeah, there's not a lot else you can do about those tiny little white balls, because they're definitely stuck quite hard onto the dreads. Pollo Claxton. Question: I've been considering getting dreads, but I play a lot of sports. A slow week is about 3 times a week, so I was just wondering how I would cope with having to dry it after every game. Thanks. Another sports question. Lots of sporty people in here today. Okay, so if you're playing 3 games a week, on a slow week, I don't know how busy you're going to be on a busy week, you can wash your hair that many times if you so wish. It's just going to be quite annoying to keep washing and drying them, because depending on how long they are and how you're going to be able to wash and dry them after you've done your sporting activities. So if you can do the method that I do, which is wrap a towel around your head and with a hair dryer, and if your dreads aren't that long, it's not such a big deal. Or if you live somewhere warm, there's a lot of variables in there, but I think you might find it a little bit annoying to have to deal with it after every single game, because I would think you're probably quite tired after doing whatever sport it is that you're doing, and to then have to wash your hair and then have it kind of a little bit weighty. But as with the previous sporting question, the dreads will work around you if you get used to it. It might not be optimal for the dreads, but no one can really live their life putting their hair first. Dalton Burrow. Question: my dreads are 1.5 years old and I have been shaping my dreads ends with the crochet needle to be blunted over and over. I have curly hair and it curls up after every wash, and I have to reshape them with my needle. Will my ends ever lock up? I could not say whether your ends would ever lock up. I mean, I definitely would not recommend using the needle over and over and over and over and over. I mean, if it's not working after a few times, then either maybe you're doing it wrong or it's not gonna hold. I'm not a crochet needle person anyway, so I can't really answer anything too specific on crochet hooks because I don't use one, and I generally don't recommend their excessive use. So I'm not really sure what else to tell you there, because I'm not entirely sure, you know, what you're doing to your hair and how it could be modified or improved to get the look that you're looking for. Most people's hair normally, naturally, will not lock up into a complete blunted shape. The more common look for dreadlocks is for them to actually be quite wispy at the tips. Mine aren't blunted, they are loose at the tips, but they're just cut short, loose at the tips. So what you're doing with the crochet hook is kind of forcing them to be a way that maybe they don't want to be, and they're going to be fighting against you, and it might be a continuous, never-ending battle. Facebook question this week. Whoa. Facebook question this week is from Cassandra Jo Davila. Well, I'm looking for a job and I'm planning on getting my dreads back hopefully soon. Is there a way that I can help my future employer see that the stereotype towards dreadlocks is wrong? Okay, now there are a number of stereotypes towards dreadlocks. You're gonna you'd have to be more specific as to which one you're going to fight. But really, I'd fight them all in the same way. There are negative stereotypes towards dreadlocks, there are plenty of them, but the only thing you can do, the only thing you should do, the only thing, you know, you can really do in this situation is to be not those stereotypes when you turn up. Your hair is going to be in dreadlocks if you have dreadlocks, and you know, there's not a whole lot you can do about that. Maybe tie them up if they're long enough. I don't know what job you're going to be looking for, but if you present yourself in the same way as anyone else would for a job interview, you know, professional, well, as professional as you can for whatever job you're going for, whatever is appropriate, but just happen to have dreadlocks, and that's really the best you can do. I would only really bring it up in a job interview if the employer asked me a question about dreadlocks, and then just be prepared for that, maybe, if they ask you about your hair. And that's when you could try to dispel any of the myths and negative stereotypes, only when they're sort of asked by the employer. You know, if they say, hey, dreadlocks, do you wash your hair? I mean, I don't know what they're going to ask, and then you say, yes, of course I wash my hair, sort of, but don't be like, yes, of course I wash my hair, but you know, be polite and nice and professional and all that. Those are my questions for this week. I hope they were helpful, informative, maybe, possibly, I don't know. If you'd like to leave me a question for the Dreadlocks Q&A videos, you can leave it in the comment section to this video, but write a question at the start of your comment. Otherwise, you can ask. Each week there is going to be a status on Facebook where I say, hey, do you want to post some questions for the Q&A? And one of those will get picked for the Q&A. And to be a part of that, you have to be on the Facebook group, which is www.facebook.com/lazydreads. As always, all this stuff is on lazydreads.com. If you like this video, thumbs it up. If you'd like to see more, click the subscribe. Thank you for watching. Farewell.